Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into, well, a pretty fascinating situation in AI infrastructure today.
Hmm.
It's this world where a company like Nvidia is totally vital to its partners, supplying the absolute core tech they need.
Right, the GPUs everyone wants.
Exactly. But then that same company starts making moves that look a lot like stepping into its partner's territory.
Yeah, the lines get blurry, competition, collaboration,
Yeah.
it's all mixed up.
Totally. So our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack the details, the nuances of NVIDIA's recent strategic moves. We're talking DGX Cloud Lepton and this new industrial AI cloud.
Two big announcements.
Huge. We want to explore what they really mean for NVIDIA's relationships, with the big cloud players.
And why matters?
And why it matters for you listening in, trying to stay on top of where AI is heading. We'll pull out the key insights from the sources we've looked at, kind of guide you through the strategic dance playing out.
It really is quite the strategic puzzle, isn't it?
It is.
Because, yeah, on the surface, it looks like NVIDIA, the dominant GPU provider, no question, is making moves that seem like direct competition with its own big cloud partners.
Right. That's the immediate reaction.
But, to really get it, we have to remember the bigger picture here. The big cloud service providers, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they haven't just been sitting around.
No, definitely not.
They've already invested heavily in developing their own AI chips, right? Google's got its TPUs, Amazon has Trainium, Microsoft's working on Maya.
So they're already building alternatives.
Exactly. So there's already this sense of turnabout is fair play.
Yeah.
In the market. It's not entirely out of the blue.
Okay, that turnabout is fair play, point is sharp, it adds context, but still, for a lot of us, it feels like NVIDIA is competing directly here. How does NVIDIA actually frame these moves? What's their argument for why this isn't just, them versus their partners?
Yeah, that's the crucial question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And NVIDIA's view, or at least the way they present it, is quite different. They see these moves not as hostile, but actually as a way to help their partner.
Help them.
By maximizing GPU utilization, making sure all those expensive NVIDIA GPUs they've bought are actually being used efficiently, which helps the partner's bottom line.
Okay. So keep the hardware busy.
Keep the hardware busy. And they argue it also benefits developers by giving them better, easier access to these powerful, often scarce resources. Mm-hmm. It's pitched as optimizing the whole ecosystem.
Optimizing the ecosystem. That's quite a spin on what looks like competition.
Well, it's strategic positioning, right?
Right. Okay, so if that's the strategy, let's dig into the first big announcement. NVIDIA DGX Cloud Lepton came out at Computex. The goal, as we read it, is to help developers get access to a broader inventory of rare and expensive GPUs. But my first thought was, okay, is NVIDIA just building its own cloud now? Can you clarify what Lepton really is?
Yeah, that's the key thing to get right, because it's easy to misunderstand. Lepton is not NVIDIA building its own, competing cloud infrastructure from scratch.
Okay, so it's not an NVIDIA AWS competitor.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Think of it more like a specialized booking engine, like an Expedia maybe, but just for finding and accessing NVIDIA GPUs.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, these GPUs are already sitting in data centers owned by their partners, by various cloud providers. Lepton provides aggregated access. It connects the dots.
So it helps developers find available GPUs across many different clouds.
Exactly. It facilitates access, makes it more efficient. It doesn't own the underlying servers. It sits on top.
Got it. That makes more sense. It's about aggregation. And it's not just theoretical Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure. They've publicly signed on. That's huge.
It is huge. Massive buy-in from the big players. And it's not just them. You see a whole range of other, maybe smaller or more specialized GPU cloud providers joining, too. Well, names like CoreWeave, Lambda, they're pretty established in the GPU cloud space. But also Crusoe, Firmus, Foxconn, even AI-focused companies like Together AI and Mistral AI are listed as partners.
Wow, okay.
And SoftBank Corp in Japan, Yotta in India. It's really showing a global ecosystem coming together around this idea.
A broad coalition.
Very broad. It standardizes access.
Yeah.
Though it's worth noting, Oracle and Google Cloud, they haven't publicly joined Lepton yet.
Interesting. We'll have to watch that space. Okay, so Lepton is aggregation. What about the other big initiative? The Industrial AI Cloud, announced in Paris at GTC. This one feels different.
It is very different.
Yep.
And equally strategic, I'd say.
How so? This one is specifically targeting European manufacturing, right?
Exactly. Here, NVIDIA is partnering directly with Deutsche Telekom. They're building this dedicated cloud specifically for European manufacturers.
Okay, Deutsche Telekom, a major European telco.
Right. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, like we were saying, this looks like a major step towards building sovereign AI infrastructure for Europe's industrial base.
Sovereign, meaning controlled within Europe, meeting local rules.
Precisely. It's designed to give manufacturers access to top-tier AI infrastructure, NVIDIA's software stack CAD, CAE support, Omniverse for digital twins, robotics, autonomous vehicles, the whole industrial suite.
And it's coming soon.
Expected to be operational, open for business, early 2026.
And the scale sounds pretty serious. Our sources mentioned 10,000 NVIDIA GPUs.
Yeah, 10,000 GPUs, including the latest DGX B200 systems, RTX PRO servers. It's going to be like one of the largest industrial AI setups in Germany, probably Europe.
Okay, powerful stuff. But you emphasize that sovereign aspect, managed by Deutsche Telekom. Why is that particular detail so critical for these European companies?
Oh, it's hugely critical. It hits directly on a major concern for European industry. Data dependency, especially on non-European clouds.
Right, the worry about where their sensitive data is going.
Exactly. By having Deutsche Telekom manage it, located in Germany, it guarantees data sovereignty. It ensures compliance with strict European regulations like GDPR. It's about trust and control for sensitive industrial data.
That makes perfect sense. It's a tailored solution.
And interestingly, the sources pointed out something specific about the hardware configuration.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The absence of NVIDIA's NVL72 racks.
Okay, remind me, what are those used for?
NVL72s are like the absolute top-end systems designed for training truly massive new foundation models from the ground up. Think building the next GPT-5 or whatever.
Gotcha. The really big model training.
Right. So the fact that they're not, the focus here tells you this cloud isn't about creating brand new general purpose AI models.
It's more about applying AI.
Exactly. It's engineered for applying AI in industrial settings, fine-tuning existing models for specific factory tasks, running AI inference at scale for quality control or predictive maintenance, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. It's not building the next big language model. It's optimizing a production line.
Precisely.
And it sounds like it plugs right into their existing workflows. Access to CVX libraries, Omniverse.
Full access. We're talking simulation, digital twins, factory planning, and crucially, it supports the software tools these companies already use.
Like Siemens, ANSYS.
ANSYS, Cadence, Rescale, the big names in industrial software. And the users are companies like BMW, Maserati, Mercedes-Benz, Schaeffler. Major players already using this kind of tech.
Wow. So it's deeply embedded in that industrial ecosystem.
It really is. And it shows how the AI market is segmenting, moving beyond just offering raw compute. It's about specialized compliant solutions for specific industries and regions.
Yeah.
Very targeted.
Very targeted indeed. Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. What does it all mean for the AI cloud market? And, for someone just trying to get a handle on this rapidly changing landscape, what are the key takeaways here?
Well, first, I think it's clear NVIDIA isn't shy about expanding its influence, right?
Right.
Even if, like we said, it looks like competition with partners sometimes.
Yeah, they're definitely not standing still.
But, as we also discussed, the big cloud providers, they're not exactly surprised. They're developing their own chips. It's this complex dance. Everyone's innovating, everyone's adapting.
And we need to remember that distinction. Lepton is aggregation, making existing stuff easier to find and use.
Right. Not direct infrastructure competition there.
Whereas the industrial cloud is new infrastructure, but it's filling a very specific gap. Focused, sovereign resources, especially for European manufacturing. It's a clear niche play.
Exactly. And the real winners here, arguably, are the customers.
How so?
Well, they get access to a wider variety of GPU options through things like Lepton, and they get these specialized compliant solutions like the industrial cloud, which maybe wouldn't exist otherwise.
Tailored solutions for specific needs.
Right. And don't forget the software companies, the ISVs, whose tools run best on NVIDIA GPUs.
Yeah.
They benefit too because these initiatives create more places for their software to run effectively.
Right. Expands their potential market.
For sure. And it really brings up this bigger point, this question about how the AI market is evolving. It's segmenting. There's this growing demand for more than just raw compute. People need specialized, compliant, industry-specific cloud solutions.
Okay, so summing it all up, the core insight here seems to be that NVIDIA's strategy isn't just about aggressive head-to-head competition. It's maybe smarter than that.
I think so. It's more about intelligently expanding their whole ecosystem, aggregating resources with Lepton, filling these crucial market gaps like the sovereign industrial need in Europe.
It's nuanced.
Very. And Understanding these nuances helps you, the listener, see past the simple headlines,
Right?
to grasp the deeper forces shaping AI infrastructure globally.
Absolutely. So that leaves us with maybe a final thought for everyone to chew on.
Yeah.
Well, thinking about this demand for data sovereignty for specialized industrial solutions, how are these targeted, maybe geographically specific AI clouds going to keep reshaping the global tech landscape?
That's a great question.
And what other, maybe unexpected partnerships could pop up next as this trend continues?
Yeah, who partners with whom next? It's definitely a space that's moving fast, not standing still at all.